to another B4B workshop. It's exciting to be here this morning. Like I said, please say hello, please say hi, wherever you're joining from, whatever part of the world or Nigeria you're joining from. So I would say Ekaro in Yoruba. Okay, Israel is joining from Lagos. Okay, I'm joining from Ibadan, Sha. Um, who else is dropping comments? Let's know where you're joining from, guys. Uh, because of time, I will just be moving on while we keep sending in our greetings and getting to know each other in the comments. So my name is Stacey Ketiko. I'm head of programs here at B4B Partners. Great to meet everyone. Love is joining from the City of Excellence. At this point, I don't know if that city is actually the City of Excellence, but I refuse to throw shades this morning. Uda is joining from Enugu. Welcome, good morning, great to have you here. So today we're just here for a single reason. We want to try and improve how we work on our GTM strategies, right? And most startups, they don't fail because they don't have good ideas, they don't have visions to their vision to move their business forward, but they fail because they run out of cash. They try every possible means to get their business off the ground, but without good go-to-market strategies, having repeatable systems, things just keep falling apart. So today's lesson, we want to learn how to build GTM strategies that make revenue predictable for us as businesses. And at the same time, how we can stretch the cash we have so that we can do better and spend smarter when using technologies and cloud. We also have some free offers that we'll be giving out today, and I'm really, really excited about it all. So if you're new here, welcome to B4B Partners. It's great to have you on board. And here at B4B Partners, what we do really is we help businesses grow smart and sustainable revenue. And our vision is really to empower individuals and businesses. We believe we do this through individuals because, again, individuals run these businesses, and we provide the tools, strategies, support that the businesses need for sustainable growth. And we do it by our capacity building programs, how we deliver impactful sessions to help build teams, sales teams, revenue teams, and all of that. And one of our key programs is Revenue Accelerator. And we just concluded a cohort. But each time we do these programs, we always have people come and say, oh, I didn't hear about it, I didn't hear about it. So we're using this platform as a way to let you know about it before you say, I didn't know about it, right? And I will just be inviting Napa to just say one or two things about the program before we move on.
All right. Hi, everyone, and good morning. Good morning. I hope we're all doing well. For those of you that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Napa Onwosa. I always say it's Napa, not Nepa. I don't take light. So I really appreciate it if you guys could bring some energy into the room. Emojis. Come on, Israel, I see you. Aisha, what's up? What's up? Yes, Joel. Lovely to see you guys. I've seen some people I know. Thank you, thank you. I hope we're feeling the energy in the room. And this is the same energy we bring into Revenue Accelerator. So if you want to generate revenue on steroids, then we welcome you. But if you're not serious about 10xing growth, then this is not for you, okay? And just to give you a quick overview of what our Revenue Accelerator is, it's a hands-on sprint where business owners can create, test, and scale systems that demonstrate real growth. So you learn really fast, but most importantly, you apply fast so that that growth can be seen. It's a 4-week program. Week 1 is immersion. We spend 3 hours each day going into specific areas of your revenue engine. We do products, we do marketing B2B and B2C. We also do customer success. We do sales. We do revenue operations where you can do revenue forecasting. And then week 2 and 3, we now get into our action weeks. This is where you set up your tools. You get a lot of free stuff, credits across the board, like they like to say, 10s across the board. And then we only open it up to a maximum of 25 companies that are learning and growing together. Now, our promise to you for every single person that attends this cohort is that at the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to build products that people actually want. And how we validate want is by how they spend their money. You're going to attract and convert the right customers and close deals. Stacey, if you don't know, we're on the next slide. And then delight customers and also retain them, because it's really important that we retain our customers and then grow and motivate a high-performing team. Here, we also talk about hiring, which I know is a big issue with a lot of startups. Now, the promise we have kept across board, we see an average, again on the next slide, 22% revenue growth for people that are in our cohorts. We actually had someone that, one of our cohort members in cohort 1 that saw an 890% leads generated increase. And we have a consistent 4.5/5 rating from all the people that attend. So we're very pleased to open it up. Like Stacey said, most people don't know. So the QR code is on the next slide. Most people are not aware when the program opens up. So I encourage you to scan. The link is also going to be shared. Just indicate interest. So once the cohort opens up, you'll be the first to be able to join and not wait for the crowd to come. Yeah, thank you all. And I'm handing back over to you, Stacey.
I'm sorry, I'm having a very shitty day with my network and everything just seems to be lagging, but just manage me the way I am today, please. Thank you, Napa. So as we move on into the sessions, I would like us to start with a little icebreaker. So all truths, no lies, right? It's a safe space here. So if there's one part of your sales process you wish you never had to do, what will that process be? You can come off mute to say, or you can drop that in the comments. So if there's one part of your sales process you wish you never had to do, Napa says RevOps. If I was in sales, I would say RevOps too. Temitope says follow-ups. Okay. Or maybe negotiation, actually. Abby. Joe says for me, it will not have to do the outreaches. But outreaches, it's interesting, Shao. Napa loves negotiation.
No, Stacey, you've never done cold calling.
Maybe okay,
cold
maybe it's just outbound
yes.
messaging and all of that. But maybe not cold calling. All right. Thank you so much. You can keep. Oh, Joe says it's stressful. Maybe because I can't relate, sharp, but cold calling or emails. All right. So at this point, I just want us to go through the agenda quickly. So for the next 1 hour, we're going to be listening to Temitope talk to us about how to build a scalable GTM engine without burning Runway. And once we're done with that, we get to hear from Israel. And Israel will just be telling us a few tips on how we can optimize our cloud costs so that we can extend our runway. And we have a couple of freebies for all of us here today. So please stay till the end and let's take as much value as we can from this session and have fun in the process. So are we ready to meet our facilitator for today? Please let's encourage him with emojis. It's not easy to be doing all the talking, right? So I'm going to be bringing Temitope on now. Temitope, are you here? Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I was waiting to hear your voice, Sha. So I'm going to hand over to you now. I wanted to introduce Temitope, but I saw his introduction and I was like, I think it's just better we hear from the horse's mouth. So Temitope, you have the floor and we're ready for you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for first giving me the audience and even making it out. I know it's around 9:40 in most places, whether you're joining from Nigeria or outside the country. Thank you for making it up this early morning. Most times you should be after Friday, TGIF and resting, but you're here to learn. Um, I like to always start out that I am also a learner. So don't just think what I say is a Bible. I love to experiment. But without further ado, I'm just going to share my screen about the little thing I want to talk about today, which is why here. Um, in case you and one thing I like, in case you don't understand anything happening, please always bring me back to share. Please, with an emoji, just confirm you can see my screen. Yep, we can see our screen. All right, okay. I want to be sure that we're starting now. I think we have a good enough quorum. Please do not forget, you can interrupt me at any time to ask questions if you do not understand. So I'm going to be presenting now. Good morning. My name is Temitope Ekundayo. In a nutshell, in the next 1 hour, I'm going to be running us through how to build scalable go-to-market engine and how to make sure it doesn't eat every money you have, right? I understand how cash flow is the life of every business owner. And if you're on this call, you're probably either a founder or in charge of revenue operations in your business, or you're thinking about starting a business, or you essentially are in working for a business and you have to figure out how to scale your company with little cash, which is the normal thing. I've faced it many times and I understand deeply this problem. I still face it and I still try and experiment out of it. All right. So, who's the person speaking to you here and why should you even bother listening to him? I'm a strategic growth venture builder and a partnership leader with about 15 years experience helping startups and enterprises scale across multiple sectors. But most times I've niched down to fintech, SaaS, creative technology. But in the past, I used to be in education, printing, branding, agency, and also consultancy and VAS or telecommunications. So what do? I build and lead go-to-market engines, right? Turning early stage ideas into scalable revenue generating businesses. My work spans across growth strategy, business development, ecosystem partnership, sales, marketing, depending on what the CEO or my team decides I'm that for that period across Africa's digital economy. So what are the little mug shots, which I call I've done that you may know me by, right? I started a company called GetEquity, and essentially what GetEquity provides is investment infrastructure, a blue ocean strategy to take essentially how you invest in multiple different things and digitize them for the future. And we've been able to scale that to about 20,000 users and more than $5 million in asset under management. And prior to that, I used to first as an early staff and became a former CEO of Printivo, and that was Africa's first and pioneering online print-on-demand platform, scaling that into 5 countries and about 100,000 customers, both B2B and B2C. I've been a venture coach in multiple different programs, both for Google, both for Impact Hub, 54 Collective, and many others, where I've trained and supported and mentored different startups, about 150 startups. I've invested in personally about 20 when I used to have money. Now, I'm also certified in growth, product, and marketing. We have a CIM certification. Also went through AMI, which is African Management Institute, a partnership with Stanford, and also an investor fellow in Dream VC, which is an accelerator that trains people to invest in companies. So That's just a little bit about me. And of course, I run my consultancy called Endeavor, which essentially helps businesses scale. So, what are we going to learn quickly? By the end of this workshop, you will be able to understand the simple framework for building and testing go-to-market strategies without overspending. We're going to talk about insights that are common mistakes startups make and how we avoid them. And then we're going to get into the practical tactics, because there's no point in talking theory than we practice it. And the idea is, how do we reduce those costs real time as we're on this call? So, I mean, the whole point is meant to be interactive. So let me start with a word of advice. Scaling revenue, at least in my own opinion, and you can quote me, scaling revenue doesn't always require spending more. Not often the case. It requires doing more with what you already have. So I'll take it again. Scaling revenue doesn't always require spending more. It requires doing more with what you already have. Activity 1, right? I want us to do a little recap. And so I'm going to stop presenting because in 5 minutes, I want us to refresh our memory in some little, I'll call it some things that we should be aware of. Are we good to go? Please, you can unmute your mic so that I know we're following along.
Yes, we are.
All right, so let's begin quickly. So in 5 minutes, I want us to talk through some different terms and let's define them together. All right, first things first. Who knows what an ICP is? You can just grab the mic or pick anybody. Grab the mic. ICP, target audience. Who knows what it is? Just grab the mic and speak.
Ideal customer profile.
Yes, please go ahead. What does that mean? Banefo, thank you for grabbing the mic.
So, ideal customer profile represents the target audience that that share the common pain points the solution tends to solve, basically.
All right, great one.
Sure.
And Banefo says ideal customer profile, it represents the target audience that share a particular pain point. Does anyone have any other definition? Joel, please go ahead.
Yeah, basically, ideal customer profile refers to those in the segment that your solution is meant to serve, or the segment that it best suits for.
All right, thank you. Joel says ideal customer profile is represents the segment of people you are trying to solve for or provide the solution for. Very good answers. We'll come back to this thing. So I just want to quickly run. Buyer persona. Anybody wants to grab the mic? Don't be shy. Because of time, I'm going to be picking anybody randomly if you're not going to.
Buyer persona is a tool. It's like a psychographic tool to represent a profile of your ideal customer. It's very related to ICP.
Hillary, thank you. You said buyer persona is a graphical tool to represent. I missed you on the part.
I said psychographic.
He has gone into. Well, we'll come there again. Psychography of your audience. Okay. Any other person has definition? Paul, please go ahead.
Okay. Our buyer persona is an individual in your ICP who it's best for you to meet and engage with so that you can offer your offering to them.
Great
It's the
one.
best person in your ICP.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. It says it's an individual in your ICP that is best fit for what you are providing. Amos, you wanted to say something before I interrupted.
Okay, I was going to say it's a representation of your ICP, a representation of your customer. Most times it's fictional, but like I feel like there are times when probably you already have a lot of things with your customers, they can actually create like something that's maybe semi-fictional, but like a representation of what you define in your ICP is your buyer persona.
Great, a representation of what you define as your ICP. Well done. I'm happy with all these answers because I wanted to even gauge your knowledge on the room. Well done. Sector mapping and demand. Anyone? What do you understand by it? There's no right or wrong answers. This is where we are here. Sector mapping and demand.
Yeah, so basically it's knowing the sector or segment your business is offering.
Operating in. Well done. That's the answer. Sector mapping and demand. Knowing your sector, knowing who and what people are buying from there. They're quite simple. All right, product market fits.
This is when a PMF is when a product satisfy a market demand, solving a problem for a customer
Daniel,
or meeting their needs.
Network is bad. Daniel, sorry, we lost you for a bit, but could you just recap again?
Okay. I said this is when a
Oops.
Let me try.
This is when a product is satisfying a market demand or solving a problem.
All right, thank you. When your product solves a market demand. Uchenna, you were about to help us out too?
Now, I was about to just give an example to illustrate it. It's almost like as if you're trying to sell charging stations for electric cars in Nigeria when there's no electricity to power it. So it's something like that. So there's no product market fit in that case.
Great concept, contextualization, and perfect answers. I'm happy with this class because definitely that's what it means, right? Product market fit. In the other flip side, I always use the reverse, market product fit, because what I say is that anything you are building for has a market it exists for, right? Either you are essentially people who are building electric vehicles are coming into a market already, which is the market. They are coming into a transportation market. They are coming into the oil and gas market, and they're coming with what? The energy market with alternative energy solutions, which is electrical. Just gives you a concept. But of course, a lot of people like to use product market fit. I just believe that any product you're going to ever build or will build in the future comes into a market existing. AI today comes into a market you may not understand, and that market is productivity, right? You may also be thinking around which other products? Cryptography. It comes into a market of payments, right? And banking and money transfers. There's an existing market that it's coming to take over or tap into in its own form. So always keep that back in mind. Well done. Value proposition and JBTD or job to be done. Anyone?
Okay, my name is Joseph Ude.
How Joseph?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Value propositions is just a statement that explains why your product or services should be used or customers should use your products compared to other competitors or other customers.
Perfect. Why should your product be used over another competition, right? That's a value proposition. Joel, could you help us with job to be done?
Okay, for the job to be done is just to implement strategies. First of all, in branding, you have to create a perception in your customer's mind. Like you have to create a story that is going to resonate with them, because customers, they resonate with stories because the feelings evoke true feelings. You can be able to turn a business into a profitable you can turn through story, you can be able to turn a business into a high revenue company or stuff like that. I don't know.
Well done, Ude. I know you struggled a bit at the end, but to help you out, the job to be
Yeah,
done is basically in your customers day to day. There is a job to be done, and that's why they use a particular solution, right? Your job is to make sure you tell the story of the problem they have. We don't call it problems, it's a job to be done. And I'll take you for example. You want to send money back home. Your job to be done is I'm looking for a solution that can help me transfer money from where I am back home. What would that look like? Your motion or thinking is, oh, I have to find either a mobile app or I have to go to the bank to send my money. So you may first thing go to the bank, but when you hear about a solution online to say you don't need to go to the bank to actually move money right from your phone, you download that app, put in this, put in that, and in minutes your loved one gets basically their credits. The job to be done initially was what? I need to find a way to send money back home. You have sold the story saying don't go to the bank, use my application. And that's essentially what you find. How do you solve your customer's job to be done? By the value proposition you offer them. Great. I mean, it's good that everyone is following along. We'll speed it up much quickly. Market sizing. And I think Charles Dairo joined this call. I know Charles is as my friend. I saw him on the call. Charles, take this one.
Oh, me, I'm here. No.
And let me just put you on the spot quickly.
Market sizing. Okay, so that's a way to measure and communicate the value of the market in terms of total addressable market, service. Is it service? Is it accessible?
Addressable.
Addressable market and service obtainable market. So just a way to determine how or communicate how large the market is.
Great. Very great answer. And that's quite clear. You have a market. Remember, everything is about the market. In that market, you are looking at how big is the size of internet providers. And so think about it. Before guys like Sky, Starlink ever came into Nigeria, right? Elon's product. They must have mapped out what is the market size that determines if we'll even make money in this market at all. And so they will look at and say, one, how big is the market of internet service providers or service provision in the entire country? That is what we call TAM, the total addressable market. If you look at with all ideal conditions, everything working nice and fine. If people are coming, what is the total addressable market? Technically, they will take reports from IT, which is International Telecommunication Unit. They will take reports from each of the companies' market reports, which are the leading players, the MTNs, the Glos, the Airtels. They will take reports from other places. And when they check it out, they're like, the total addressable market is somewhere around 90 or 100 million people because, well, these are the mobile device, unique BVN, all about that data. Okay. And each of them spend an average $2 or $5 on data, right? Per month or per year, dependent on, just giving you a rough idea. So that means if there are 100 million people that spend $2, right? Let's just give that an assumption. It means there's $200 million per year market size that we can capture. Great. Now we need to confirm how many people can we address now that we're coming into the country. Based on who we are trying to target, we're not looking for every person that spends $2. We're looking for specific people that they cannot do without internet. If internet drops, they're good. So remote workers are perfect because they need to be working online with their peers globally, and they need a stable benchmark on internet. So it's those particular people are going for. How many remote workers may exist? They go and do their mathematics and say, out of these 100 million users, 10% of them actually are remote workers. That means what? 10 million users. Those 10 million users can spend more than $10 to be sure that they never have internet problems. So that means what? They are now targeting those 10 million people, which is the service addressable market of that term. And they are going to spend 10 million. So it's 10 million times 10. They are going to make 100 million, almost 50% of the market size or market share if they focus on just the segment of people. Then they go down and say, to be honest though, what will it take for us to capture these 10% people? Because in this same 10% people, we have other competition. Let's be honest with ourselves. Within the first 2 to 5 years, how many people can we really capture? That becomes your obtainable market, because you are starting out in Lagos, and in those 10 million people across Nigeria, in Lagos, there's 2 million of them. That means another further, give or take, 10%, right? And can be captured in Lagos. And it may take you a year or two to actually truthfully capture 10 million of these people. With that in mind, they do the math. With 2 million people spending 10, we should have around, so those 2 million people in Lagos can even do higher than the 10 nationally as an average. Maybe they can do $20 per person. That means 2 million and 20. In Lagos, they could capture 40 million in revenue. Right? So now they now see, it's a viable business to come into. Let's now look at what we'll spend to get into. So this health management teams think about, it's a management tool, right? How to think about coming into a market or building go-to-market for it. Well done, Charles. Competition advantage, I think that was quite clear. What is your competition? What is the unique selling point about you? Market segmentation using SoStack. I think Nampa, you're going to help us here. Do you know that? I think she's not on the call. Is there any marketing person here?
Hi, my name is Michael. So
Hi, Michael. How are you?
Person. I'm good.
All right. Do you know the concept of SoStack?
SoStack?
Yeah.
No, I don't. And that's why I joined, so I can learn.
Okay. I'll just quickly run through.
I know the concept of a SoStack.
Oh, please, Hilary, please go ahead. You can just quickly define it to the audience. Thank you. Hello, Hilary, can you hear us? Okay, I think his network. So just in a nutshell, SoStack, or in marketing segmentation, is a marketing planning framework. What it means is simple: situation, objective, strategy, tactics, action, and control, right? And what does that mean, or what does that do? Situation means situation analysis. Evaluate the current state of the business you are in and the market you are inside. You will use things like SWOT, right? You use things like SWOT analysis. Everybody knows what SWOT is, right? Please, if you don't, let me explain what it is. Oh, yes or no, guys? Please, it's interactive.
Yeah, we do.
All right.
Yes.
All right. You also, so in situation analysis, you either use a SWOT analysis, right, or a TOWS analysis. A TOWS analysis is just the opposite, meaning TOWS. TOWS is threat, opportunity, weakness, and strength. SWOT analysis is strength, weakness, opportunity, just the reverse. But either SWOT or TOWS analysis, any of those two you will use. Objectives here means you defining specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based goals. Right? Strategy here will be the approach you take into the market. How are you identifying these targets? How are you breaking them down? And what are you offering them? Tactics is the exact way you are going to use, which channel, which message, which campaign which team, high level, physical operational thing you do. Like on this call, there's a webinar, it's a tactic, right? Action is based on those things. You've created a timeline, you've created who will handle in terms of the responsibilities, and you've talked about how you implement it practically. Now, control is the established metrics or the ways of monitoring progress, right? How you evaluate the results and how do you make adjustments. Essentially, it's just a market strategic approach. So now everyone knows what SOSTAC is. Thank you. Oh, Abba Divine says she doesn't know what SWOT analysis means. So again, it's a management tool. The idea for that is to evaluate a company both on an internal and external basis. Internal means what are the key things that makes this business, my business, different from another business. For example, when I was in Printivo, my differentiator or what my internal strength was my technology infrastructure. It made me stand out from my competition because people could come on my platform to order online. Other platforms, they have to either call people, chat them up, text someone. There has to be maybe human communication. On my platform, all the answer information were presented, and all you needed to do was click, 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 right? So differentiator. The second was time, people, my people and my process. The way I structured my business was to ensure that there's a continuous motion, perfect for both short-term and long-term large bulky orders. We designed internal processes like a workflow. When an order comes, how many minutes to someone respond? And when it moves from this stage to that stage to that stage, everybody is informed in the entire chain. So those kind of systems became my strength. But for my weakness would be, hey, without internet or without technology, I'll be a mess, right? Because everything is in cloud. If my servers fail today, I am in trouble because all my data and all my processes that rely on that are on the cloud. So that is a weakness, for example, right? The opportunities is that I am one of the major pioneers and only some of the major players here. It means I can keep growing and eating more market share from the large established printing platforms, for example. And threats will be if, for example, an established player outside the country decides to come into the country, or what the other brands like Xerox decide to do what I'm doing. Now, I hope that answers the question about, right? That's what SWOT means. You're analyzing both the strengths and weaknesses that are internal to you and the opportunities and threats that are external to you to look at your business. So all of these things that I've listed help you define your business model. Okay. Marketing strategy, I think we've talked about it, how you market. Pricing strategy, how you price. Now let's talk about sales enablement. Stacy, do you want to take this one?
I think it's maybe giving your sales team the resources they need to move deals forward and things like that.
Thank you. Right, giving your sales teams all the tools they will need to work. Right, it's also in sales operation. Sales enablement is one of the core things people do not know. It's very vital to have, especially in build B2B, right? And yet, Napa just added very beautiful color to that, all right? Sales coaching your team. You need your team to be coached, especially if you're in B2B and sales team. Coach your team, train them. Most people don't understand this, and I'm going to break it down as founders and as marketing people. Your team has to be coached. And that's why you create what they call playbooks, the guides, things, and that's why it's good to document, write everything down. And we're in a great world now with AI where you can chat with AI. You can sit down and in 1 hour talk to AI and dictate everything that comes to your head of how you work. And AI will give you a documentation that is perfectly done step by step. You don't now need to type any longer. So if typing is a problem, carry your phone, go to dictate mode, and pour everything out of your head, your frustration, everything you need. AI will type it out and give it to you. And then with that in mind, you have a documentation that your team, both marketing, both sales, have. Think of it like a Bible. If you're religious, right? You read your Bible to get more inspiration or insight of what God wants you to do. It's the same thing with you as a leader. Create the Bible that your sales and marketing team would work with. Great. Customer journey. There are some people on this call I know have not heard from. Please, I would like to hear from one person. Customer journey. Not Hillary. Not Hillary. Hillary has spoken. I want
Okay, let me go on. Let me say something.
Spoken. I want someone new because I want you guys to
Okay.
be active. Please do. I'm going to pick someone, and we have more than 5 minutes in so that we can move on. All right. I just have 30 more minutes, so I have to rush through. Okay, customer journey, how people join, and source of growth, how we scale. So let us move on because we don't have time, and I'm going to be quick as much as possible. I spent more time explaining this than possible, but it's good that a lot of people follow on. The number one go-to-market mistake I have seen over the years is that most businesses have a leaky funnel. And that mistake is because you're wasting resources on the profit and the poor execution. And what do I mean? When you throw ads as a marketing person, if you do paid ad, for example, you may be targeting too broadly. And what happens? Zero conversions. You spent, you hear people complaining, oh, I spent 600,000 naira in ads, but nobody converted. And when we do an audit, you find out you targeted too broadly, or the messaging was not resonating with customers. You're building and you're spending so much. Although that's why a lot of people love AWS credits. You're buying credit and you say, you hear me, our credit is finished. Thank God there's a credit provider here. They are going to talk about what they do very soon. What you find out is what? Unoptimized infrastructure that is draining money because you're spending on those different technology stacks, if you will. You're chasing some leads that will never convert. It's subjective, but I will just put it there too. You're chasing some leads. 4 years in, that person is still not even answering. And I've seen that happen. And then there's momentum that is not aligned, right? Your marketing team, if you ask them does this business do and what's its value proposition, it's different from what your sales team will say. It's different from what your ops team will say. It's different from what your customer experience team will say. All these things create what we call the leaky funnel. And it's the number one, most common, and most. If I sit down and analyze every business owner today on this call, is the number one thing. Even me, I've faced it before. So it's a common and normal thing. And so when you look about these mistakes, how do we solve for them? The answer is just one framework. So if there's anything you will learn, right, in the last 20 minutes, is this thing, right? Don't worry, we may send the deck, or you could also just listen and understand it and write it quickly. There are 4 stacks that need to happen to build or engineer what we call your go-to-market. All right, go-to-market again is how you approach it, the strategy you use to enter into your market or build your market share. Amongst these 4 things, we like to focus on the 4th one a lot. But you see, these 3 things, these are the things that make the 4th one perfect. And if you do not have this foundational, the 4th one, which everybody now looks at, will be 0. So what are the 4 keys? Your strategy layer, your motion layer, your enablement and operation layer, your automation data and integration layer. Take it again. Your strategy layer, your motion layer, your enablement and operation layer, and your automation, data, and integration layer. Each of those 4 things answer different questions and problems at each stage. The very first thing in your strategy layer is your ideal customer, your pain or value addition map, your unique selling points, your customer journey, and your customer. What are the answer? The who, the why, and the what. In your motion layer, we talk about your hook, your messaging, the positioning of your product or service. What are you offering to your customers? How are you offering them, which in terms of what they call cadence is, how are you offering it to them in terms of time? Your landing pages, or how people find you, the channel they get to know about you. It answers the how and the need. Your enablement and operation layer, it's where all the operational tactics come to play. And this is about your documentation. You have playbooks, case studies, scripts, frequently asked questions, knowledge banks, your trainings, webinars, proposals, battle cards, templates, Q&As, which is question and answers, your assets, your brand guides, drives, anything that people can use for processing. It answers, I think it is a niche. It answers the how, while the message answers the motion layer, sorry. Right? And finally, the 4th one is where all this come together into things like customer relation management, softwares, marketing automation, integration, technology preferences, your data, your application programming interfaces, and how you analyze all these products or service, which is called the system. So before you get to the system, you need to have covered these 3. Let's quickly walk through each and every one of them. The strategy layer, which is, we've talked about it, and I'm happy a lot of people knew what this is, right? The ideal customer determines the type of customer that will benefit most from your product or service and brings the greatest value to your business. Good. So take it from me. People define it as type of customer that will benefit most from what you have and gives you the biggest value. That means there are some people that will buy your product but are giving you the smallest value. They are not your ideal customers. Just know that your ideal customers bring the biggest value to you, either financially or as a point of creating ambassador, whatever goals you set. Whatever customer brings the biggest value of that goal is your ideal customer. And it helps you focus. That's one thing an ICP does. It helps you focus, right? So that you focus on what converts. If you're a small startup, you won't be targeting enterprise businesses, and you're just starting without any enterprise motion in plan, because it's a different beast. So it helps you focus on what you can capture when you've done your strategy and management plan. So you break it down by multiple things. We call them firmographics or demographics. In B2B, which is business to business, if you sell a solution to a business, you're targeting the industry, their company size, how big the company is. That means the company has 6,000 staff. That's the kind of customer I want to go for. The industry, they maybe in telecommunications, or they are in transportation. So I'm targeting transportation business that has 6,000 staff, for example. And that company, by research, did $2 billion last year, or 300 million naira last year. Great. And that company is based in Lagos. Imagine that's my demographic. Those are the people I only want to target. And I found out that maybe there are 600 of them. If I just get 10%, that's 60 of them. I know they work again for that year. And that's essentially how some people, you need to approach it, right? For B2C, which is if you're a business selling to customers, age, the gender, the income, where they stay are the people you target in either firmography or demography. It's either so we use firmography for B2B and demography for B2C, just for you to understand. Psychographics means what are the goals, the motivations, the pain points, the attitudes, the buying behaviors, the job to be done. Think emotionally as your customers. And that's why when you speak to people, potential leads, by their body behavior, you know if your product will sell to them or not. So it's not what they say, it's how they behave, what they do that tells you if your product will win or not. Or what pain points, what environment are they currently in that you think will solve for them. Today, gas is scarce in the country. People are looking to fill their gas tank. They are frustrated, they are angry, they are tired. The first time is happening ever. That's the psychographic they are facing. If you decide to create a solution that can fill their gas at the same price point it was prior to that, without them moving a muscle, you will get demand past what you can carry. And that's essentially what makes you win. Tech stack or technographics, again, for B2B. What is this business built on that? Some people have a site built with something, right? If you search on that site, you're able to see what this company used to build their site. So if you are a tech, IT solution focused person selling to a particular group, you can go and check on their site. Oh, they used Google Cloud and I sell Azure. I would now say, okay, I'm targeting all Google Cloud providers because those are the only people I want to go and meet. I won't be targeting Azure people because I'm already using your solution, so there's no point, right? Adoption maturity. How did they find using this solution? Is there anything like integration? Because, for example, in fintech, this is number one. You're selling to people, they'll tell you, boss, we have a roadmap of 6 quarters, and in that 6 quarters, we have so many integrations to do. The tech team is tired. We cannot do one more integration. So imagine if you come to a solution where they say, don't do anything, just press play. They will buy it because the time to integrate is longer, right? So it's better to go to, or sometimes the integration may be complex, so you have to be sure when you're speaking to IT types, what is their current psychographics in their technology? And then, of course, behavioral data. When you engage people, all of that, right? So all these things help answer the who, the what, and why. That's the product. Okay, quickly, I want to ask anybody here wants to volunteer their business, so we can quickly play to this. Joel has raised his hand. Joel, we've done yours before prior. I think it will be fair. Let's just do someone else. Ishak Wilson, please go ahead.
All right, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My startup is called My Crib. My Crib is a tech startup that is helping renters and landlords to make informed decisions. And so on our platform, renters who are looking for property, short-let, long-term rentals, and properties to buy, they're able to access those inventory of our properties faster, and would help them make informed decision because they can virtually inspect the property from the comfort of their home. They can virtually inspect how the neighborhood looks like with Google Street View, and all of these tech stack help them, make informed decision. And for landlords, they are able to verify their tenants. Short-let operators are able to verify their guests before they hand over their keys. And so the goal for My Crib is to make these two, both sides of the coin, make informed decision.
All right, thank you. So, Ishak, one thing I always advise is if you need to capture people's attention in 1 minute about what you do, what will you say? Because you've said what you've done, but you said it in a very long way, right? And that's the key point of why you knew an ICP. When you look at an ICP, it's not every renter and it's not every landlord you're targeting. The most key people are people that need information before they make a decision, right? Yeah, you might argue that everybody needs that, but this particular group of people need to know. We are targeting these young, maybe working class people that don't want stress in house hunting, and it's a stressful process. I've gone through house hunting for many months, and I know how stressful it is. And so that pain point is the stress, the convenience factor of moving and looking for a house. You want to eliminate that using My Crib. So My Crib simply eliminates the hassle of finding a place. That is, in one sentence, what you've done through providing you one single shot of all information you need in filtering out the best place to stay. And on the other side, it allows landlords access information about possible renters and decide on the go, making the experience of house hunting or renting seamless on both sides. I've answered what you said, right? Wilson, you see?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So that's essentially it. You don't communicate the pain points. You talked a bit more about the features, virtual view. Those are good and fine, but they are features. You need to communicate the pain point, because someone will be like, I'm trying to really understand you. But when you say, we help you make your house hunting experience seamless, they get it, they understand it, because they know that their friend has talked about, I've run around and it's hard to find a house. They understand that pain points. That is what you will lead with. And that is what would attract them to check out your site. And that's also the messaging you need to reinforce, that they stay and help you figure out how to better that product experience in finding and creating a less stressful way to experience. And it's those customers that have the willingness to pay for that service, because you are making it a seamless experience that they can pay for, that are your ideal customers. Thank you so much. Because of time, we can't take orders. We'll just continue where we stopped. So in terms of the customer journey, we need to look at the customers, right, as part of these key things. And I'm back to here, right? We finished this place, right? We're just tapping on the customer journey and the strategy layer. So in the other word is, look at how you break down your customer according to how they pinpoint. So we've talked about My Crib and the fact that they make house hunting experience seamless. What would their customers' touch points be across board, right? So in your strategy, you need to differentiate, how do people approach us? Are we going to be following them? Imagine if they just come on my site and I call them immediately. Or is it a case of, come and see you, come and experience? Because if you put a lot of resources, which is immediately someone agrees a lead, call them, you're going to be spending a lot of money, because what? You're calling people, right? Using your call. And it's easy as you get one customer, two customers, 10 customers. But when you start having 100 customers, 200 customers, that call credit that used to be nice, 100 naira, start becoming 20K, and it's biting into your business. So you have to figure out what strategy you are starting out with now and at scale, and figure it out right now before you ever begin, so that you are building the touch points. I am matching that engagement to how much you are going to be making, or how complex is your walkthrough. If think about it, and it's always good to, that's why it's always good to talk to customers that to run through your product that don't know you, to know that more your product is too complex, I can't figure it out, I can't navigate it. That helps you know, okay, how do we simplify the process, so that people it's just as easy as what did Amazon do? Amazon created one click to shop. That's how crazy that they created in such a way that just click one thing and you can shop, buy, put credit card, pay, and go your way. Because they wanted to reduce the time from value to be seen or felt immediately. Right? And that's why business models have come with what we call freemium. Try it now for free, experience the value and pay later. But you're hooked, right? So you have to figure out what is the customer journey and how do you break down your customers, and then write about it. How do we onboard this customer? How will we make them to onboard? How do we make sure that at this point we need to make sure they renew? When there's a problem, how do we escalate? How often from the time you escalate a problem to the time it's solved? If your people are taking 24 hours to escalate that, how do we bring it down to 12? Bring it down to 6, bring it down to 3, bring it down to 12. Apologies. I think my network well, but I'm just going to. Stacy's going to help me out. I've had a bit of technical issue. Stacy, could you share? Could you share the slide?
Okay, bringing it up in a minute.
So go back to that.
Screen?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you, guys. So as we were speaking earlier, we need to now look at the health score of the company, of the accounts, to say, oh, this account is growing. We're setting automated ways to scale it. This one is not growing, or this customer is not buying. You have to digitally set this across board. So let's look, next slide. Let's look at that customer journey pain points or touch points across board. No, please, yeah, okay. So if you look at this, I'm sure some people may stretch their screen. The touch points of your customers are cut across both physical or digital. And at each stage of your customer's buying decision, this all that runs through their mind in some places. They need to be aware of something before they buy it. Then they need to make a consideration. Then they need to buy it. Then they need to expect that this thing continue happening or after sales. Then of course they need to stay loyal to your products. Now just look at it from a digital touch point. They might see it online through an ad, or they might be searching for this problem. In this case, my three place will be renting in Okuko Maiko, right? Or seamless way to rent, or I am tired of finding property. Who knows? Like they're ranting. So most times you come from that search. Or you are putting a paid ad on their phone. All of these are digital touch points of your customer. Or you might send them an email. Maybe you've told them, if you're looking for a place to rent, click here to get our guide. And they will provide their email, and you've captured their email to send a mail. Or they come to your place and they've heard of my crib somewhere, or maybe on this call, for example. They'll go and search for it, and they go through to your website. Of course, on social media, they may have come across it. All of this is the awareness stage. And in the same place, if you decide to go and do publications on the different blogs that take you about, if you be called or invited into radio or TV, on webinars, or even someone that just meets you on the street and you talk to them, or you put your big banner somewhere, all of these things become the awareness stage. Then you need to now see how do you make them to actually consider what you are doing. Continuous motion, you start to say, come to our store or come to my shop. Maybe for agents, this in the past, when you want to do, they'll tell you come to our place to book, make your booking or inquiry. Right? And in some places, it's by sending a mail or using a broker. In this case, my crib, right? That makes them consider. Now, how are they purchasing your product or service? Do you have a mobile app? Is it by a website? Do you buy service? Is it by basically paying for that good? How do you keep on upselling and servicing them? Through communities, through your social? Do you have a call center people can call at any time or chat with you online without ever speaking to them, right? Do you offer this in terms of service or by an invoice or by confirming how they are doing by mailing them, doing after support surveys? Oh, thank you for your purchase. Did you like your service? Okay, so next slide, right? So all these things are quite clear, right, in terms of journey. So in terms of your hook, your messaging, position, and offer, it's simply, we know what this is. What grabs the attention of your audience, right, and highlights their critical pain point. In your case, your hook, my crib will be, find your perfect place in 50 or 60 seconds. It has hit them. For people who are renting and are frustrated, find your perfect place in 60 seconds is that hook. Your positioning, we help you figure out house renting in minutes without leaving your home. That's how you position the brand as. Your messaging, what I just said, the specific language, the story you are telling that communicates the pain points you think your customers the most that are willing to buy and pay for your service, so for, right? And then, of course, what are you offering? You say, subscribe now for 1 year and get reports, alerts, all that thing for 2,000 naira for that information. And what will happen, right? That's the offer. Next slide. So in these playbooks, like I said, you need to have in the enablement layer, you need to have playbooks, case studies. Now, in these playbooks, if you are doing a targeted outreach, meaning you are going outside to reach out to people, you want to create a way for people to build what we call a workflow. A workflow is how your go-to-market engineers reach out. You know, you reach out manually, you send a mail to someone. In that mail, you must have gotten their email and sent it to them, right? But using go-to-market engineering, there's a way you can, and unfortunately, I can't show you now, but I promise to do that by a recorded call. You can actually send mails targeting specific group of people with different messaging, right? That is personalized to them without actually knowing about them. And that's where technology has gone. It can personalize to the pain points that you've provided, the ICU customer issues, and the emails without actually doing that. And yes, some people have dropped comments like Clay. We'll talk about those tools. I listed a large number of tools, right? Solutions like Apollo, solutions like Clay allow you to clear and do a research of people, do their database, automate that, and just send it. And you can send out mail. Some people send out close to almost 100,000 mails in a month. Because when you look at the type of customers, 100,000 mails, right, may convert to 1,000, but you rule of thumb of 10. Because when you send out 100K, you might get to find only just 1,000 who really need and are willing to pay for that service. And it's normal. And so the outbound motion for sales, especially B2B, is to keep throwing pipeline, keep sending, so that you always have people ready to buy at any given time. So always have case studies. And the best way to do case studies is quickly find your anchor customer. And so the very first thing you want to be doing as you are preparing for your outbound motion, engineering and outbound, is start qualifying the customers that you have worked with or already using your service and get their testimonial. See, even if it's to go to the house physically, do it. It's very vital. Because nobody buys from hearing that logo. They buy from when they hear A has done it. Open growth did not happen because OP was, I mean, yeah, OP did a lot. Let's leave their own side. But key thing is that the product worked, and the people that are using it, the market woman say, I use OP, they work. Is that personal? P2P, that's peer recommendation that became actually the thing that sold them, and not really all the ads that were trained. Right? There are also a different use case, so I don't like to use them because I know what they did. But I'm just giving you like at least the message being people buy from other people. Right? So immediately get your customer testimonials in writing and in video. Right? Get it from some key, if you have a targeted enterprise and one person has agreed to use you, which we call the champion, make sure they see. If you can make them write one page, sit down with them in their office self, and even be the one, put the dictator and be the one writing so that you do it, get their pictures. Because when they see one big customer like that use you, they're interested. That's the psychology of B2B. And of course, Nampa here is the king. She has done this many years. So case studies are important because you are showing people how you solved another person's pain point, which is their peer. And they're like, oh, okay, you solved this person's pain point. That means you are solid. Let's use you. Then have a knowledge guide internally that talks about everything you have done, experiments you are trying. Target experiment number 1, August 1 to 5th, 1 to 7th, right? 1 to 7. That's for that week. We are going to be trying webinars, daily webinars. How did it work? 300 people signed up, 200 people came on the call. This thing. So that everything you are trying, tactically put it in a folder so that when you, as you hire and people leave, there is something that shows how and what you have tried. And you will be able to say, okay, webinars are actually our most highly converting channel. Those knowledge guides, without it, when you bring in new people, they are lost and they have to figure it out. Sometimes you don't have that patience. So always create that. And if you don't and have not been doing that, start doing it from today. Battle cards. Battle cards are the things you basically prepare your team by, and that's the coaching we are talking about in sales enablement. You need to build out those data, things that your sales representative, your marketing team have information about the people you are reaching out to. That, for example, you see this particular segment of users, don't always email them, call them because they are mostly on the road. That's the battle card info that and context that other people will not know, because people who are sold into those markets tell you, don't, these ones, they will never pick up or read your mail. All right, so I was just showing as part of the key things to have your branding. Spend time to have a good logo, visual elements. All these things are important because it's what people see, your color, your patterns. So just look at this thing, how beautiful it is. Imagine getting a proposal with something, it attracts your attention. That 2 minutes of attention that they'll spend somewhere else, when they see that your branding, they will first say, okay, that's why a lot of brands are now spending money in their branding, because they know how important the customer psychology, they are using colors that capture their attention. It's part of the awareness tactics. It's also one of the reasons. So imagine if you see a mail and you open the mail and you look at the proposal, is different fonts, different color, different. You think it's even a scam. You run away. Please move on. I'm being rushed. So in case I don't finish, it's Stacy's fault. But yeah, I think these are some of the most important tools. Unfortunately, I would love to show you some of them in real time how it works. But the first thing people always find is, how do we even find leads first? How do we gather it to even do this go-to-market thing I've been talking about since? First, LinkedIn. You can use the free version, which I do, because sometimes you can also get your company to pay, because I know LinkedIn is not cheap. LinkedIn Sales Navigator is around 90,000 per month. So if you use that 1 month, your people are not going to be sleeping, though. They will gather leads like their life depends on it. if you don't have the money. If you have it, of course, it's a very sweet tool, the Sales Navigator on email, to reach out to your target customers, right? Webinars like this, physical and virtual events. That's why I go to physical events. Company websites, use tools like Apollo or Hunter. Go to industry-specific conferences. Join professional associations. There's an association for your business. Believe you me, you will not believe until you go and check. You will find out that, oh, you sell kerosene, there's a kerosene market association. Go and check, right? Uri, a very interesting product, Nigerian based. Sorry, by the left, let's check on the left. When you have these leads, sometimes you want to trial surveys. Google Forms are still great, type forms are still great, right? In terms of databases, there are many I've written down, but some of the great ones that you use to get information in when you are doing your market planning. Google, big deal, Statista, Notebook LL. You can use TGM Research, Google Trends. RF is for seeing what customers are searching for, right? NOI polls, Counter Nigeria, some of them are paid, so you might not go that. Or you can come to me. Let me plug myself, Endeavor. All right, moving on. We can talk about what customer relationship management tools we use. Please scroll up a bit, the next slide. Yeah. So I'll adjust that you guys look out for tools like Apollo, Clay, Apify, Lucia. All these are products in terms of life cycle. Life cycle is as your customers are moving in that whole chain. There's a one in also that helps out. Customer value is one of the best, but it's expensive. You can find what you can search is tools like customer value, free or cheap. You will find an answer. If you manage your operations and you are looking at a tool to manage your things, you can use Trello or ClickUp. And if you are outreaching instantly, so not all these tools, I'll send them to you. Now, interestingly, in the world, AI world, I use a browser. The browser I was using with you called Dia. Dia allows you to ask a web page. You can actually chat with your web page, and it will give you information. It's the next level of things. And of course, work with AI. AI is a technology that you as a sales or market person need to work with. Talk to it. Look at AI as an intern that you hire to do work for. Give it task, give it context. The more you give AI context, the more it's smarter to work for you. And if you don't know how to prompt, ask AI to help you generate prompts. So you can do a dictation and then ask it, give me a prompt. Copy the prompt and still use it, and you see what will happen. Right? So data visualization, bringing it out, you can use Looker, you can use Excel. So all of these tools, customer onboarding, this is very important. I use tools like Loom. It's over one of the best things that you can record how your product demo works and send it as a mail. And when someone watches the video, for example, Charles here, who does an appointment booking platform called Kindly Book, can decide to use StoryLane, which does live interactive demos, so people can see how that software works in real time, embedded on his website, for example. Or app queues that will walk people when you have, if for example you have a mobile app queues will walk people step by step on all the features, right? Your analytics, Google Analytics is free, is cheap. Start with the basics. Or if you want to go advanced, you can do Aru B2B, which helps you identify the visitors that come on your website to know how you can target them. Or you use App Flyer or Google Looker. There are many of these things. Or Hotjar. Hotjar is one of the best because it tells you where people spend the time the most in your website. And you know the particular points in terms of a heat map. If you watch football, when they're analyzing things, they'll show you one, maybe Roberto Carlos defended the midfield. In that same time, it's the same thing we see in real time, where most people spend their time the most on your website, visualized as a heat map that allows you to say, okay, what's going on in this page and improve that better. So Some of all these tools are to help you in your go-to-market. But if you remember, bringing it all together, there are 4 key things: your strategy, ICPs, pain points, USPs, your motion layer, your enablement layer, before your automation layer. So this is it in providing a go-to-market. And maybe in the next time, we'll show you practically how to walk through that. Thank you, everyone. If you want to build one, you can always reach me on this number or my email, which will be communicated. Thank you. And I think we're moving on.
Thank you so much, Temitope. You've done amazing work. Because of time, and I know we're running behind schedule, so I'll just be bringing up Israel. Israel, are you ready? Israel, I see him, but I don't know if his mic is. Okay, while we wait for Israel, does anybody have a question? Oh, okay, it says I should unmute him. Okay, we can take one question from Kingsley.
Thank you very much, Stacey. Amazing presentation. For the sake of time, I'll go straight to it. Is there kind of a starter kit for founders? Because many founders might not be technical, but whether you're in biz dev, you're GTM growth, or you're a founder or entrepreneur. So is there a starter kit, like an MVP, that they need to know in terms of all the tools you listed?
Great question, Kingsley. So it depends on your type of business, but you can start out very simply with the basic: your Google Sheets, your Excels, your Google Analytics, right? A basic marketing automation platform can even start as easy as a MailChimp. Like, you can start out free, right? Those things you advance based on your need case and at the scenario you are in. I'm giving you like almost majority tools. Some people use a tag tool of 500 tools. Now, what connects people together, right, in terms of making things seem less, in terms of when you click on, say, you put out a survey with Google Form, and when the person clicks, they get a mail to say thank you for your mail, and keeps on sending them mails after a few days after, is what we call the automation tools. They are called make.com. That's make.com or N8N. Or, yeah, make.com, N8N, popular. Those are like 2 of the best. Or you can use the simpler one, Zapier, right? There's also free, and there's also paid versions. Now, Zapier will connect your Google Form to your email too. And you can automate it and say, send a mail today, then after 2 days, send a mail for follow-up without you touching anything again. So you can start out basic, and if you don't know it, that's why it's like, you can start out as simple as, I am a founder today. I have 0 clue about go-to-market, but I have this particular tool, this particular tool, this particular tool. I'm trying to connect both and all of them together. Give me a workflow and how to automate it step by step. AI will help you in ChatGPT. I hope that answers your question, Kingsley.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Temitope. I think Israel is up now. So quickly, he'll just be telling us about how we can use CloudPlexo and their tools to scale and save on cloud. Israel, are you set?
Awesome. Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much. And that was quite an insightful section. I have really learned a whole lot. So without much ado, once again, I'm Israel from CloudPlexo. And in the next few minutes, I will show you how we help startups move faster, cut cloud waste, and also de-risk that AI adoption so that you can ship features, win customers, and also raise with confidence. So it is really essential for you to be able to have that speed to market. And I simply categorize that as survival. With AWS, you can iterate fast, pay only for what you use, and also scale without firefighting. And our job is to make that reality, not just a slide, so that you can get reliable launches, predictable bills, and also that room for you to grow. And in terms of scalability, you also have that ability without having much budget constraint for you to be able to scale at the click of a button. So basically, what CloudPlexo is actually bringing to the table is, I certainly tag this as fast lane for founders. So we plug your startup into tangible perks and hands-on help. So the first one we are bringing to the table for you is, we can help you secure up to $1,000 in AWS credit. To be candid, $5,000 to help you extend your runways, because we totally understand that most startups are bootstrapped. Every single penny you tend to spend is actually being allocated for maybe expansion, marketing, in order to give your product that visibility. So we will be helping you get this $5,000 in AWS credit to extend your runways, to help you migrate from wherever you are to AWS, and also for making payment for your bills. The second value proposition we are bringing to the table for you is the free proof of concept. What's this free proof of concept? It can easily help you de-risk bets, maybe in AI, Internet of Things, so on and so forth. If you have any stuff that is still in ideation or has already advanced to the MVP stage, you will also be helping you, especially when AWS has categorized you as a startup. You will have that ability to be able to plug into the vast resources AWS is giving out to startups, especially when you are being categorized or mapped as a startup. So you'll be getting fresh credits, which is totally different from that 5,000, to run test all of these ideas in a staging environment or in a simulated environment. So as soon as you are sure that this is the product you want to be rolling out to your target market, you can then move it to your production environment. The other value proposition we are also bringing to the table for you is free technical implementation, as we have over 35 senior solutions architects on board of CloudPlexo, that you'll be getting a dedicated senior solutions architect, and to also work in a kind of a methodical way. You also be getting a dedicated senior project manager, because for every project that has an initiation, it certainly has to have a close. So whatever segment, whatever solutions you are bringing into the market, that senior solutions architect will be attached to you. Let's say you want to leverage on artificial intelligence and machine learning, or you want to leverage on agentic AI, so on and so forth. So it is the senior solutions architect that had already gotten their hands dirty in that particular market niche, or if it is fintech, you need DevOps, you want to automate your CI/CD pipeline, you will be attaching that senior solutions architect to help you carry out all of this, while the project manager comes in to ensure that every deliverables is being achieved within a timely manner. So this is what we are bringing to the table for you. And as a matter of fact, you would also be getting an architectural diagram, which actually helps you unlock global possibilities. So this is going to sound as a kind of a blueprint for your startup, and also what we call cost estimate. Yeah. Yes. Can you hear me?
I would like to say your slide, you should move to the next one.
Yes, I know. I'm still talking on the unlocking global possibilities. So basically the next one we have here is how AI ready is your businesses. You used to have that concept. Have you really started leveraging on artificial intelligence? This is where CloudPlexo will be coming in with their dedicated solutions architect to help you explore all of the possibilities here. Are you still trying to experiment with AI, or you have active operations you are currently building, leveraging on different models? It could be on ChatGPT, it could be on Llama, it could be on Gemini. Wherever you have your workload, we can help you migrate to AWS so that you can build on the pre-built models on AWS. And we also run targeted POCs where we also secure funding for you, map to your business KPI, then productionize what really works from you. That from AI acceleration to data management, security compliance, because security is actually very key in whatever you do, especially when you are working in very sensitive market segment like fintech, healthcare, where you are dealing with PII information and so on and so forth, so that this AI adoption can be very practical, secure, and also review ready for any regulatory compliance. So basically, when it also comes to vendor lock-in, we already know that most startups are not really wanting to be tied to a specific vendor, maybe AWS, Microsoft Azure, and all of that. So we'll help you containerize all of your workloads wherever you want them to be. So if you decide to leave AWS today, you can move at the click of a button. So when it also comes to cost overruns, we ensure that your cost is actually being brought to a minimal level. And in terms of security too, we are very, very conscious that security has to be top notch in whatever you are actually doing. So security is actually built in, not actually bolted on. So we are talking about leveraging on AWS config, guardrails, backup and compliance checks from day one, so that audit and enterprise sales don't actually become blockers. So we will ensure that your security is top notch. And in terms of lack of expertise, I'd already said it earlier on that you will be bringing a senior solutions architect attached to you. And the interesting thing about this is we are not charging you anything for all of the services. You will be feeling that because you are a startup, what exactly are you going to be spending and all of that. Don't worry, we'll never get to the commercial aspect, because we are in the market to ensure that we experience your customer journey with you. All of these services is 100% subsidized. We are not charging you anything. Instead of you spending so much money in getting professionals and all of that to help you migrate your workloads to AWS and also for the management, CloudPlexo will be coming in to help you achieve all of this. So basically, we have been able to help over 2,000 startups across the globe, ranging from UK to Kenya to Ghana to South Africa, so on and so forth. And we'll be happy if you can actually join us. So I'd already talked about the slides in the credit we'll be getting for you. And basically, we are here to help you achieve whatever project that you want to bring to life. And these are some of our featured partners. In case you are looking for funding wherever you are in your customer journey, we have done into partnership with various venture capitalists, private equity firms, angel investors, founding communities, so on and so forth. So we will give you a kind of an handshake to these bodies so that they can help you move from point A to point B, whether you are looking for pre-seed funding or you've already advanced to looking for Series A, Series B, whichever position you are, we are here for you. So basically, these are the value propositions we are bringing to the table for you. So please, you can kindly scan this barcode so that we can have one-on-one session for you. And I would also like to inform you that everyone that scans this, we will be inviting you to Moonshot Mixer event that we'll be having, so that you can have that opportunity to meet investors, to profile you. So kindly scan this barcode so that we can get to know exactly where you are and bring in all of these resources to ensure that your startup have that an ability to be able to scale without much constraint. So let's help you handle that technical aspect. Let's help you secure credit at no cost at all to your startup. And we are super excited to be here for you in ensuring you achieve all of your targets. So I'll be stopping here in case if you have any questions so that we can take it forward. Thank you so much for your time, and we are looking forward to speaking with you one-on-one.
Thank you so much, Israel. How very generous, really. Because hearing Moonshot now, I'm even excited. It's like I'm going to to get on this offer. And I know we're a few minutes behind schedule, but I just wanted us to walk through a couple of announcements, because we have quite some offers to give to you. Like you've already seen, 1,000 AWS credits. The link is already shared, and you would also have access in the email that will be sent after this session. So please, you can access that. More announcements. We have up to 3,000 naira in credits from
no, 3 million naira, Stacy. 3 million.
Thank you, 3 million. How did I say 3,000? 3 million in credit. Please, you can scan the barcode and you also get the link in the email if you want to get on Zoho or use any of the Zoho tools. This is a very exciting offer, actually. 50% off Apollo. You can scan the barcode again to get access to that. So on your Apollo yearly plan, instead of you paying the full amount, you get to pay 50% discount. I don't know where else you would see that, Sha, but and interestingly, we know that so many awards goes to founders, business owners, and all of that, but very rarely do you see awards go to the people that are actually driving revenue for these businesses. And that's why Africa Revenue Makers Award is here. And we're super excited about this one because we're getting to recognize the people doing amazing work, driving businesses forward, whether you are working as a go-to-market strategist, you are a sales manager, you're working with CRM tools, you're a CRM specialist, you work in the data analysis bits of things, you're in growth marketing, customer success. This is an opportunity for you to nominate anyone you know that falls into these categories. You can scan the barcode and also have access to the link that would be shared. Again, if you would like to have early access into Revenue Accelerator, Napa already talked about it at the beginning of this session. This is an opportunity we don't want you to miss. If you're trying to scale your business, 10x the revenue you're already making, this is where you want to be. So please scan the barcode to access that. And we usually send out our weekly newsletter, the one that even went out yesterday. It was in line with the whole customer service week and all of that. And it's just interesting seeing how you can apply this knowledge into your business. So please, if you're not yet registered or you've not yet subscribed to our newsletter, it's a good place to do that. I hope you are following us on all social media platforms, Sha. If you're not, I don't know who else you're following, but all right. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your Saturday morning with us. At this point, I would just say have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much. If you need any resource or you want to reach out to us, please, you can send an email to stacy@b4bpartners.com. Collins, you have your hands raised. Do you want to say something quickly before we go?
Yes, thank you very much for the wonderful section. Thank you so much. I learned a lot. I just want to make a plea to know if we can get the recording of this meeting or maybe the slide, whichever one we find.
Yes, you can get both. Actually. Is that good?
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Sorry, will it be sent to us via email? The recording and how do we get it?
Yes, you registered for this session, right? If you registered, you have your email address, so you get it by email. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.